This 4-2-1-3 got me a 14-1 in champs, and to be honest, it wasn't even completely optimized to get me through those higher ranked players and higher skill games. This was just really fun to play, and I'm going to run you through the roles and why I chose each particular role. And I'm going to start with the fullbacks. So my left back and right back both have wing back on balance. Now, wing back is not as aggressive as previous years. They'll kind of sit when you've got possession about 10 yards inside the opposition half. Now, what's beautiful about it is that if your wide players, your left winger or right winger, if they cut inside, then your wing backs will start to go around the outside. They only really get really high up the pitch when you approach the opposition 18-yard box. So they don't fly forward as much as they have in previous years. I've got ++ on both my left back and right back, so they do make that transition quite quick, but they don't really get high up the pitch until you advance further forward. So please do careful where you lose the ball, because if your wing backs are going forward and you lose the ball, you can be exposed. Now, what I will say is the game that I lost, he had a left winger and right winger. If I had fullback defend, I probably would have won that game. If your team is falling behind and you want an Mbappe, an R9, any of the latest promo players, then head over to eldorado.gg. They've got you covered with cheap and reliable FC26 coins. And I know you've probably heard that a lot, but look at the reviews. Look how many different options you've got before you go and purchase. Once you are satisfied with your vendor, then head over and type in ALX to get your 5% off of your order. Let's get back to the video. I think it would have been a high chance of me winning that game. So that's a little bit of a subtle change you can make in those games that are harder, especially if they're using wingers, left wingers and right wingers. Then probably switch to fullback, at least balance, but maybe even defend. But really high up the pitch, nice and wide, a lot of fun to use. The next instructions we're going to look at are the CDMs, and both are on deep line playmaker build up. Yes, both. And the reason I've got both is because what I like about the build up is if there's space in front of them, they will go into that space. If there's space slightly wider, they will go into that space. They basically only really go forward if there's space for them to do so. If there isn't, then they just sit in the middle of the pitch. Now, more than likely, when one of the CDMs goes forward, the other CDM sits. That's really nice balance. Now, yeah, you can probably put them on defend, but then you never get them going forward. You could change them to holding defend, but again, they never really go forward. So the important thing here is that you've got the possibility of the players attacking that space, and they really do come in clutch, especially when you're trying to break down stubborn oppositions. That little bit of movement from the CDM is a bit unpredictable, a little 1-2. I've got Curtis Jones with Tiki Taka Plus, and playing that first time pass into the cam's feet, into the striker's feet is really nice. So definitely prioritize players that can pass. If they can dribble, great. If they can shoot, great. But it's that passing, and especially the passing play styles, that are really important on both CDMs. Then we've got the cam, and I have gone for classic 10 attack. You know how much I love a classic 10. What's great about it is they sit in the middle of the pitch, but again, if the space is inside the box to attack, if the space is a little bit wider, they will move into those spaces. The classic 10 this year does not work like FC25, where they just stayed and they would not move, even if there was ample and acres of space for them to do so. So it's a really safe option from the back to ping that ball to the classic 10's feet for a counter attack. In and around the box, you know they're going to be reliable. I've got Messi there with finesse, you know, with the, well, just the normal silver play style. So many times he's in a little bit of space and he can bend that ball into the corner. It was really quite clutch in a lot of situations. I pair that with a false 9 on attack, because sometimes the false 9 will be deeper, and what happens when the false 9 gets deeper? Well, he invades, or she invades, the classic 10 space, so the classic 10 goes into the false 9 spot. So effectively they are rotating quite a bit. If you get the ball at the feet of the false 9 and you drop into midfield, well, then you know that the classic 10 then will go into that space. Now, I've gone for 2 wide playmakers on build up for the wide roles. Now, they're kind of like in between a winger and inside forward. Now, think about an inside forwards position, but think about if they only drive into that position if you're in and around the penalty box. So if you're building up play, they're going to be a bit wider. Of course, you can drag them inside, but when you get in and around the penalty box, that's when they act more similar, not quite as an aggressive as an inside forward. So for my kind of play style, where I'm not looking to really hit hard on counterattacks, I do like to counterattack, but I'm looking to break down opponents, then actually I want them to come narrower when I've got sustained attacks. So you've seen the gameplay, you've seen the roles, you've seen my rationale behind it, and I found this a lot of fun. It's a very, very balanced 4-2-1-3. You've got the 2 CDMs, you've got the cam, you've got the wide players, you've got the false 9, you've got the wing backs who aren't too aggressive, but they do offer that bit of space and that little bit of an option out wide. But again, if you want to go to fullbacks, you absolutely can. This was a lot of fun to use. I had a lot of fun and a blast playing. For me, it's all about finding a tactic that isn't necessarily meta. It's actually fun to use. I get the movement of the players that I want. I don't get frustrated because the players aren't where I want them to be, or I feel that I'm forcing myself to play a formation that doesn't suit the way I play. So let me know in the comment section below how you do get on with this particular 4-2-1-3. I'm particularly interested, I am going to state this, if you make any changes so it suits you, please do again let me know. If you did enjoy that video, then a like massively helps grow the channel, push this video out to more people. If you're not subscribed, then hitting that subscribe button again just helps me out. The legends of you out there have got that notification bell clicked when you press subscribe. So if you're not, give it a go. See if you can be notified and see if you can get that top comment. I'm looking for some good comments this particular video, so let me know and let me see what you've got. I'll be back tomorrow with some more FC 26 content, but for now, take care.